Hello, Bob Van Rossum with Market Pro. Had a really cool conversation with a chief marketing officer yesterday, and she's actually in transition, so she's looking. So it was a networking opportunity for her to engage with us. And the reality is she's had a fantastic career. Right? She spent about 15 years at a Fortune 100 company back when they weren't that big and they were in hyper growth mode, and now it's a very large company with consistent promotions while she was there. Then she spent some time in a mid-tier size company, but a very large known brand in the country as kind of the number 2 marketing person. And then for the last 7-8 years, she's been the CMO of a $5-6 billion enterprise that has done a significant amount of growth while she's been there. And she's got great pedigree, great career, longevity. No one's going to call her a job hopper. So that company that she worked for is experiencing a turnover at the executive leadership level, and a lot of folks are taking the opportunity to look for other things, and she's kind of in that boat, right? But it's like she has that luxury because she's managed her career so well. So we're talking, and she's like, share a little bit about you guys, what Market Pro does, and I talked about our specific focus on Chief Marketing Officer Executive Search and that one level down from there. And what made the conversation interesting was basically I said, look, CMO Executive Search is different. It's different than your Chief Operating Officer, your Chief Financial Officer, or your Chief Human Resources Officer, right? There's multiple pathways you can utilize to get to the CMO role. It could be digital, it could be brand, it could be communications, it could be product. And what you need in a CMO is different based on what your organization is doing, what your growth goals are, what other talent you have on the team, and having a search partner that can help you assess that is critical, right? And she said, I agree 100%. It's just a problem for me a level down, right? We were hiring a head of brand, and we went out to search to a search firm. It wasn't Market Pro, it was another search provider. And she said, big national executive search firm, but not specifically understanding marketing. So we get into brand, and the question really becomes, how much of this person's background experience is understanding advertising? How much is understanding brand? How much is understanding creative development? Because all of those things are really important, right? How much does this person understand how to maximize internal, external resources? Because in this role, they're going to manage the agency. And she said, we got candidates that looked good on paper, but then when we dug in, it was pretty quick to understand that we weren't getting a high-level screen of candidates, not because it wasn't a good search firm or they didn't have professional people there, but they didn't understand brand, they didn't understand advertising, they didn't understand creative development. So I really doubt they figured out the right interview questions to ask, but even if they did, they wouldn't have had the expertise and knowledge to appropriately grade those. So I said, so what was the result, right? What happened with the search? She said, it just meant it took a really long time, right? We ended up getting a great candidate, but I had to interview 13, 14, or 15 candidates. And she couldn't remember exactly. And we had to do really a lot of the search firm's job, a lot of what we were paying them to do, we ended up doing. And do I think I saw a great slate of candidates at the end? No, I just hired the first person that was the right possible fit because we had to move on as an organization and get going. So, as we look at this marketing, right, it could be your CMO, it could be your head of brand, it could be your head of communications, it could be your head of digital, right? Each one of those areas is a subset of the Chief Marketing Officer Executive Search. And each one of those areas has items that your search firm must be an expert in order to effectively recruit for you, right? And so we just gave the example of what that means from a brand perspective. We gave the example of what it means from a CMO perspective. But look at digital, right? This person needs to understand performance marketing, social media, influencers, SEO, paid media, and how to bring all that together. Depending on what industry you're in, we could be talking performance marketing. There's other things we could be working on. And what you need as a head of digital or a head of performance marketing is going to be different than what another organization needs, and therefore the background of the candidate is different. And if your search firm doesn't understand marketing on a really, really deep basis, they're not going to be able to effectively vet that for you. So one of two things is going to happen. One is what happened in this woman's case. The search is going to end up with a successful conclusion, but it's going to take a really long time. The other is you may never get the right candidate, or you may be also being relatively impatient to hire somebody, or you may hire the wrong candidate, right? So there's multiple negative outcomes that can come out of that, and getting the right outcome when you hire a search firm without expertise in marketing, it tends to just be luck if you end up getting the right candidate. And that's kind of the problem we built MarketPro as a firm to solve, right? We saw that need in the marketplace, and we said, look, it's going to take a marketing expert to really dig in and interview marketers who, as we like to say, are good storytellers, and understand what makes an A player and separates them from everybody else. And an A player for your organization is going to be, from a performance perspective, very, very similar to an A player for other organizations, but from a background and experience perspective, it could be very different. And that's really the value we add, understanding marketing and the fact that all we do is marketing, having now done 300 CMO searches and well over 400 searches that are that next level down that report to the CMO. That wealth of experience plus that expertise in marketing really enables you to understand that we're going to get this done right the first time.